Hi, happy Friday and happy full moon in Taurus. Um, I've been quiet the last week and a half. Um, I have not quite known how to share with you what is happening in the universe that can give us hope, perspective, context, or grounding. And I think I've found some ways to talk about it and some things to share. And so, my intent today is to acknowledge that we are in a time of a lot of people feeling really dysregulated, really upset, scared, angry, shocked about the US election results. Another huge group of people feeling excited that their candidate won, making plans, moving in those directions. So, very divided feeling energy. And uh, just want to acknowledge that. But this uncertainty around how is this going to play out? What's going to happen? How will the people we care about get through this, be safe, have human rights still, civil, social human rights? Um, how will our environment move through this? How will our international relationships and peace on Earth survive through this? All really big questions and really big energies. Um, and uh, so saying happy full moon in Taurus feels a little bit uh, simplified and habitual for me. But I'd like to approach the lunar cycle with sort of that celebratory and good wishes energy. Every new moon embracing a new cycle, and every full moon celebrating a culmination of a cycle or a full view fruition of a cycle. Now, this lunar cycle began in Scorpio and began in Scorpio with a supportive energetic flow from the planet Saturn. And that's an important part of this full moon growing into fruition with a full moon in Taurus. And this full moon in Taurus is very close to the planet Uranus, the planet of disruption and surprise, awakening energy, uncertainty energy, um, change that's unexpected and perhaps shocking. But that can be a great awakener, can be for the sake of our freedom and our becoming connected with our higher mind. So, planet Uranus is often called the higher octave of Mercury, which is the planet that represents our personal human mind, our logical thinking, our perception, our communication. So all the planets are in relationships. And of course, as they continue their orbits around the sun, and from our perspective on Earth, the relationships, the conversations between the planets change. The connections, the aspects, the flavor of it changes. So I want to give us a sense of what's currently in the sky, what the universe is bringing in an energetic way, and offer some suggestions of how you can co-create with that energy, how you can partner with it, how you can relate to it in a way that supports you in your and me, us, supports us in our individual experience of our lives. Now, we all have our own unique birth charts with our own unique planetary placements and aspects or conversations between the planets in our birth chart that give us our unique traits, our unique nature. And then as the planets keep moving, the current sky, the universe gives us an invitation or it starts a conversation. And sometimes it touches our charts really personally, with this full moon perhaps being together or conjunct with a planet in your birth chart, or opposite a planet in your birth chart, or square to one. So there's all different ways that you can experience this full moon. And it's why sometimes you relate to what's happening astrologically, and sometimes it doesn't feel like it is meaningful for you personally. That has to do with how the chart of the moment is meeting your personal birth chart and how they overlay and what the connections are. So keep that in mind. But this full moon, sun in Scorpio, moon in Taurus with planet Uranus. Okay, full moon, we get to experience an emotional awareness, greater emotional awareness. The sun is shining full on directly on the moon. So the moon is reflecting all of that light, and we see a full moon from Earth. And we have a fuller emotional experience of the energy of Taurus, of the energy of Taurus moon near planet Uranus. So it's a way maybe of tapping into and really feeling, oh, what is this Uranus and Taurus asking of me, opening up for me? How can I awaken to more of that Taurus archetype in myself? So the Taurus energy is earth, it's fixed earth. There's a solid groundedness to Taurus energy, and it's connected to our senses and our pleasures. So Taurus is a sign ruled by Venus, the planet of love, relationship, values, beauty, what we find enjoyable and pleasurable. So this Uranus movement through Taurus since 2018 has been awakening us to being more embodied, more in touch with our human physical form, with nature and with the earth herself, and also awakening to what's important to us. What are our values? What do we put stock in? What do we value in our lives? And what awareness do we have of the resources we have access to? So, Taurus is also connected with our sense of self worth. What are those qualities in me that are resources for me? And they're different for all of us, unique to all of us. But you might ask yourself, what are my qualities, characteristics, traits that come naturally that are a resource to me at this time? What are things that come easily that maybe I haven't been paying attention to or aware of or using consciously or intentionally? And how can I draw on that more? How can I wake that up inside myself? Good question. Um, and this full moon can illuminate some of that for you. Like, oh, I didn't see that before. The light of the moon shows dark, light in the darkness. And so we can take it in that way. And this full moon, it's daytime here in California now, and the full moon will be exact in relationship at 1:28 p.m. So early afternoon is when it comes into exactitude. Last night, if you were fortunate enough to see the moon in the sky, it looked really full. I wasn't, it was cloudy here. And anyhow, but the fullness of the moon, the energy of the full moon, we experience over a few days' time. And so this energy is available to us. And the sun being also almost exactly opposite to Uranus. It'll be exact to Uranus on Sunday. And that's when we can have a greater conscious awareness, the sun, through the lens of Scorpio. What's that deeper emotional truth? Scorpio holds truth and power and what is held within the mystery and in the shadows. So that Scorpio energy, the sun shining its light through that lens of Scorpio to reflect on Uranus and Taurus. Like, what is that power, scorpionic power, that lives in us? How can we awaken to the power that we hold? Okay. And that you might feel like there are changes or sudden awarenesses or sudden changes in your understanding of or your experience of your own sense of power or observing it in the world around you, in your friend groups, in your community, in the world, in the politics stage. Is there a shakeup around power? Is there sudden illumination of what the values are underneath? Or I'm kind of tuning myself to noticing in those ways. But knowing that I can embrace this Taurus energy with Uranus instead of with fear that the whole thing is going to, be shaken up and I'm going to lose my footing and it'll be a disaster. I'm choosing to look at it like, yes, it's for my awakening. It's for my greater insight of the big picture. It's for me sort of like, waking up to what's my own grounding, my own core. What's my, like the grounding, like the earth? What's the fertile soil in my life that I can like send deeper roots into, that I can draw nourishment from, that I can enjoy and be aware of my physical senses and all of the beauty and abundance around me? How can you bring more enjoyment and appreciation to what you already have? Not the fear of losing what we have, but how can we bring more awareness and appreciation to what we already have in the tangible sense and in the energetic sense of who are you at your core, in your nature, in energetics? What do you bring to life? And how can you like energize that and lean into that? So I mentioned that Taurus is ruled by Venus, and Venus is currently in Capricorn, in the early degrees of Capricorn, another earth sign. So Venus in Capricorn loves the solid nature of a strong foundation, loves that attention to building something that will grow over time, that will be solid and reliable. Venus in Capricorn can help us appreciate our core strength, the scaffolding and the systems that we have built in our lives to support us, very personally and collectively. What have we been building that is supportive? What have I developed in myself that is strong? And Venus in Capricorn has it be like that we can enjoy doing those serious, productive, strengthening things that Capricorn invites. Now, the other big astrological thing happening today, actually happened this morning, around 6:30 this morning, was that the planet Saturn stationed direct. Saturn is ruling Capricorn. So this is how they're talking together. So Venus is in a sign ruled by Saturn, and Saturn is in the sign of Pisces, where it's been since March of 23. And Saturn has been retrograde the last few months. So today it's stationing, standing still, and turning direct in Pisces at 12 degrees of Pisces. If you know your chart, kind of see where that is. And to me, a forward moving Saturn is about taking that focus and commitment, that discipline energy or devotion energy of Saturn and Pisces into our lives, outwardly expressing that commitment to our emotional, spiritual, intuitive lives, represented by the Pisces energy, which holds creativity and dreaming and connecting with the all that is, or God, or the universe. And that's why the word devotion to me really feels like it holds the energy of Saturn and Pisces. How are we being devoted to life itself? How are we tapping into the mystery and the divine and our intuitive, creative, dreaming selves? It's a really powerful energy right now. And we're going to feel a shift in that as Saturn starts gaining momentum in the coming weeks. I feel hope in that. Saturn is also in conversation with planet Mercury, which is our thinking. Like we're all tuned into radio station Mercury in Sagittarius, which is looking for the bigger picture, seeking meaning, seeking what is possible and hopeful here. Mercury in Sagittarius brings us that energy, that potential. Try on that perspective. Your natal Mercury is probably in a different sign than Sagittarius. But right now, we all have the opportunity to like tune into that Sagittarian way of thinking, which is focused on the big picture and the meaning making. And like, what is it that binds us together? What is it that is inspiring to us as a collective? What is the bigger picture collective meaning? And right now, Mercury is opposite to the planet Jupiter over there in Gemini. I talked about this a while back. But Jupiter in Gemini is like expanding our growth and learning through Gemini, our curiosity, our delight in a variety of ideas and experiences and things. And Jupiter's internal, it's retrograde now. But I think that growth opportunities, like within myself, get curious. What other ways of seeing things? What other ways of experiencing life and myself and my day to day can I bring forward? Can I expand that curiosity and that love of variety? And that's talking to Mercury in Sagittarius. How can we make meaning out of that? All right, that's my timer for taking something out of the oven. Hopefully it'll stop. I can't reach it. Maybe it's a good point to stop in our conversation here. But I invite you at this full moon to be curious about your inner resources, your embodiment, your devotion to this present moment and what's possible. All right, friends, take care. Talk to you later.